Hello, everyone. My name is Elaine Tanimura. I'm a project and program manager with PamTen and Qlik. Thank you for joining us at Emerging Job Opportunities 2021. Acquire the skills to be job ready with PamTen. Nextgen Technologies are developing quickly, and some already are in use today. Are you ready to take the next step in your career? Today's webinar will include current trends we've identified in the job market, why you should start learning Nextgen Technologies, how you can stand out from the competition. You'll hear inspiring case studies of professionals just like you, why your skills are more important than your experience, how to navigate a tight job market and get to the job you want. Today's webinar is brought to you by PamTen. PamTen's mission is to become the most reliable technology services company to our customers by being a trusted partner and to provide a rewarding career to our employees. PamTen's mission is driven by our passion to improve the lives of destitute children. PamTen has been offering technology services to small businesses all the way to Fortune 500 companies for over a decade. Our leadership team has over 25 years of experience in diverse industries. A minority women in business certified organization in 3 states, New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. PamTen has a global presence with offices in the United States, Canada, and India. PamTen and PamTen's leadership has been awarded numerous honors, including NJ Top 50 Fastest Growing Companies, Smart CEO's Future 50 Companies, NJ Top 50 Businesswomen, 20 Most Promising Web Development and Design Solution Providers, and more. Today's webinar is also brought to you by Qlik, a nonprofit organization registered in New Jersey, headed by PamTen's President and CEO, Chaya Pamela. Through her work leading PamTen, Chaya saw for herself the challenges of hiring women in the tech field. Though jobs were available, Chaya didn't see many applications from women in tech. Chaya went on to found Qlik with a mission to increase the number of women in the tech staffing pipeline. I'd now like to introduce you to our presenters. Sujal Nair is a technology evangelist, digital transformation specialist, solution architect, product manager, strategic partner, and customer success expert. Fahad Khan is a principal solution architect, digital transformation specialist, and business intelligence expert. I'm now going to turn it over to them to start the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Let me quickly share my screen and start off. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. So today's agenda, like Elaine already mentioned, so we're going to understand what the current industry trends are, what I think the world is changing. I think with the current state of, due to the pandemic, the things have changed. Organizations have changed the strategies. So that we are here to understand how during these changing times we can equip ourselves to do good for ourselves and grow in our career. So I'll let Sujal start off, since Sujal brings a vast experience with his job roles that he has done across various industries. And we'll see how from being a regular analyst to where he is today, what journey he took and what steps he did, and how anyone could get to that position. So Sujal, I think we'll
thank you, Fahad. Thank you, Fahad. Okay, so it's about I see the slide. So yes, so it's about me. So I am Sujal Nair. I carry a little over 15 and a half years of experience into various areas, starting from ITES to core IT. Uh, I currently work with NTD Data as a director for advanced technologies, and I did not start my career as it is into IT. Initially started as a customer advisor or a customer service advisor with a company that provides technical support. Okay, so definitely from there to getting into a core IT business wherein you are dealing with advanced technology, it's a big leap. So I'll just walk you through a short journey that I had to go through, starting from a technical advisor with one of the largest customer service company. I took around 10 years to reach into a manager role. And that was a long journey, 10 years, a slow one. But when I reached to a manager level, I identified that, moving further is going to be different and challenging because the time has changed. After the last recession, everything in 2008, things started slowing down. And somewhere around 2014, when I was an operations manager with Dell for dealing with small and medium businesses for their enterprise support, I identified that the technologies, there is a lot of technology stack, and the key is cloud. So I started with the initial step of getting into training myself into ITIL and understanding Remedy, because BMC was a big hyped ITSM tool that point of time, cloud based, and also learning cloud technologies. So that's when that gave me opportunity with Dell to move into the technology side of product management for BMC, and I worked in there for just a year. And with my experience around cloud and the trainings that I got through to push myself to get to next level, I also learned Boomi, which was again a cloud integration platform, and I moved into an associate director role within a year's time. And I spent a bit of time there, figuring out a lot of other technologies, starting from cognitive automation, AI, machine learning, and also big data and data analytics. And from there, I moved into a practice head's role with cognitive automation, wherein I was leading a practice around Microsoft chatbot implementation and product building. And then I moved to my current role, which is into advanced technologies, which includes a complete practice which revolves around data platforms that supports big data. Then the technologies that I've spoken about already, that is chatbot. My team does implementation for large scale enterprises for chatbot. And also working with certain areas around data analytics, wherein I provide or my team provides support and implementation to large scale healthcare enterprises for their analytics need. So that's my short journey from a customer care advisor to a director for advanced technology. So how did I achieve that, and what made me go through that, right? So that is the next question that everybody would have. So if you move to the next slide, this talks about the various revolutions that we have gone through, and currently we are at a time which is the fourth industrial revolution, which is in and around transformation, right? The key elements is analytics, AI, machine learning, IoT, and all the buzzwords that we hear every day, which are part of this big ecosystem. How did we reach here? That is a big question. We started in the early stage of Industrial Revolution 1, which was more about invention. So I will just take an example how we evolved from probably building light and bulbs to mass production of bulbs so that it reaches a common man. I'm talking about those bulbs which is more of filament based, right? And then we moved into automation innovation, which is the third generation of Industrial Revolution, where things were about LEDs and making sure that we save energy, right? And from there, we are here today, where we are getting into home automation. So today, we don't want to switch on lights or switch off light. We just want to call out, any of those premium tools like Alexa or Google, right? I'm sorry if I have triggered any of your Alexa devices, but yes, we just call out that switch off the light and it switches off, right? And how does this all happen? It all happens through various areas of AI, ML, and analytics. Now, what is machine learning? Again, when you have neural language processing, all those things, all the buzzwords. You have neural language processing that plays in the back end that identifies your accent and then converts that in the form of binary, and then your device gets switched on or off, right? So that's where we are today. And how this entire mathematics is put together, let's move to the next slide, is basically it talks about the key areas. So we have IoT devices, which is the light bulb, automation, how the light bulb would work, whether it will automatically turn on, automatically turn off, or else it would be through connections wherein you make the call and your command passes through the cloud, gets identified, then all the analytics happens and then comes out as the light has to switch off, but it happens within seconds, right? So the key elements that we see today is around automation, connection, cloud computing, where everything is residing, Internet of Things, which is like most of the items that we use today is some way or the other has a identification, MAC ID, or an IP address through which you can control it. And all this data is getting accumulated in cloud, and we are running, data analytics. And now, as we see on the top, digital marketing. Oh, wow, that's a big word, right? How do we see that? So today, you do a search on your PC. Say you just search for maybe the latest car that is going to release in 2021, or maybe the Audi A8 is something that is coming out. You search it once, and then if you're going into any application that supports ad or advertisement, you would start seeing those advertisements. So that's part of digital marketing. That's how your data or your search is getting analyzed, and then people are utilizing that and making sure that you get the right result for your thought process or your thought, right? So you wanted to see a new car, you saw it, now you identified which car it is, the cars that are related, that comes into picture, and you get the recommendation, and you can just click, and if you want to see more features, you can get that. But now this entire ecosystem is structured around three major areas. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, in a single shot, it is called digital transformation. But the key areas that plays around is one, data analytics. You search something that is coming out as a recommendation for you. So that's part of data analytics. Where is this all residing? All this is sitting up in a cloud. So if you're searching it on your phone, it doesn't mean that you would not see it on your computer. You would see that in computer because it's all connected. Everything, whatever you search on one piece of your tech would be available on the other piece of tech. The reason being, everything is connected through cloud. And then comes in the data science piece of it. So that's where your various areas like your human brain is analyzed, and then something that can be influenced is pushed into your screen so that you can take your decision, a right decision or an influence decision, however you want to, classify it, but the decision can be made. And it makes life simpler for us, because tomorrow if you have a search for a piece of tech, and as we see that Black Friday is around the corner, we can get the best deals because we don't need to search it. We just get those feeds added to our social media or any other ad providing application that we use on a daily basis. So it makes life simple in a lot of sense, right? So let's move to the next slide. Okay, so as I said about all the connections and stuff, but how does the job it affect your job, right? How is the landscape looking like for 2022 in next one and a half year, right? So now, if you really look at all the technologies or all the piece of areas that I spoke about, you would have that as the emerging roles in the global market. So what we see here is the numbers coming out from World Economic Forum. And the numbers are quite promising. 133 million jobs, that is expected to be around 10 emerging careers, right? That's easy. Like, you just need to concentrate on 10 items. But if you really look at it, it's not 10. It's actually just 3 key areas where all this job is coming into picture. Like data analyst or scientist is again a part of data science. AI or machine learning specialist is again around that. General and operations manager, that is a people piece that needs to get added to any kind of technology piece comes into picture, because you definitely need to have someone overseeing and managing things and managing those relationships with employers, with employees, and with the external partners and various stakeholders. So that cannot be automated as of today, right? Software and application development, which is again around cloud and various other part of data analysis. Sales and marketing, you saw digital marketing was one part, but sales and marketing is again an area wherein humans are required today, but it's only for making that contact. But all the recommendation or the uh, drive is currently being driven through AI and machine learning. Big data, digital transformation specialists, new technologies, everything is actually revolving around those three areas that I spoke about so far. So let's move to the next slide. Here we are talking about the three key areas that we spoke, and what is a path that we can take to be job oriented, find a first specific job, skill ourselves accordingly. So if you look at one piece here around analytics, data science, or cloud, all these three have a growth market. It is industry agnostic, which is very important. That is, you should not be tied up to a single industry, wherein it's manufacturing or healthcare or banking and finance. Because again, if you are tied up to one industry, you have another challenge wherein if that industry is not doing good, accordingly you start getting impacted. But when you get into a technology area which is industry agnostic, it doesn't really matter. Industry is not doing well, no problem. You can switch an industry, right? And again, it is easy for you to switch from one area to another, right? So we as human, we definitely need to have that approach of ability to switch, because nothing is constant. Everything is changing. And as we see these technologies, the growth path is very clear. If you are taking analytics, you can be a developer, you can be an engineer, you can be an analyst, architect, and a practice manager. A practice manager is more of a heading that with a lot of experience and knowledge of all the other areas around it. Data science, you have a data scientist, data engineer, statistician, and a practice head. And even with cloud, you would see an engineer, support architect, and an enterprise architect. Or here you would not see something like a practice head. The reason being, an enterprise architect puts on two hats, which is basically consolidating the entire solution and also running that from a people perspective. Year on year, if you look at the growth, analytics area has a growth of 33%. Data scientist has a growth of 37%, and the growth for cloud is around 27%. And all this data is derived from LinkedIn. It's a legitimate source, right? So it can be looked up. So these numbers are very legitimate, and these numbers are something that has been reported even during this pandemic, right? So as we move next, I will hand over the call to Fahad. He can take it forward. Thank you, Fahad.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you, Sujal. Thank you for taking through what you have, your journey of your building your career and letting us know what the market is. See, I'm very intrigued. So I do see, so even I have spent a quick introduction. I have spent almost 10 years in data analytics. I do see what you mentioned, how things changed last over 10 years. Things have grown. The industry 4.0 has changed the way people do business, right? Even in the pandemic, we see everything. Most of the businesses were as usual, at least the IT sector, where because or the organizations which moved digital, right? Who had everything in cloud, who had analytics in place, who had AI in place. They had better metrics, they had better decisions, and all of these things basically help organization make better decisions, right? So that's completely relatable. One question I had for you is like, if I have to understand, like, how does cloud play a pivotal role in digital digital transformation? So I understand you're like, everybody talks about cloud. So we know there's Azure, there's AWS, there's everything. So do you have any thought process around how cloud is pivotal for an organization?
So Fahad, to answer your question, cloud gives you the scalability. That's one. The second piece is about the cost. And the third one is the ability to manage and implement something, right? Today, if you say that you want to get a server, if it's a physical server, you have to order that with any of the service providers. there are, you need to arrange a rack space for putting that up, right?
Right.
And once you order that, it can land up to your specified data center or the rack space address, maybe in couple of weeks to up to 90 days, right? So that's a range to get a server delivered, right? So if you're looking at cloud and you want to set it up, I would say that with a complete structure in place and automation playing together, it can happen in 15 seconds. But if you're saying that, okay, you have to set it up manually, still it's about 15 to 20 minutes that it would take to get something deployed. So you can understand how fast and quickly you can implement, and the scalability, which is a key. Today, if you want to, again, increase the RAM or increase the CPU or anything on a physical server, it's a lot of work, right? You have to get someone to be
Right.
there and do that. But if it's cloud, it's just about selecting the right services, clicking few buttons, and boom, it's registered and ready to be, it's actually ready to rock and roll for you.
Right. I think that's one of the main reasons that all organizations are moving. So the rapid scalability that cloud gives, I completely agree with what you're telling. So that leaves to the point, or brings us to the point, that what exactly is the market? What do we have in this market, right? When we talk about technologies, right? So I think most of them are very keen on understanding what technologies are available, right? Under analytics, there are various products. So in fact, each of these areas have numerous technologies or products that have come in, or products that are growing, right? So under analytics, we have Qlik, Burst, Power BI, MicroStrategy, Tableau, and these are just the top ones that are rated by various analysts globally. In cloud computing, like you said, AWS is very well. Everybody knows Amazon, so they run their cloud, and you can just sign up for a AWS server quickly. Similarly, we have Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Apart from these players, we do have those traditionally old players like Rackspace, Blue Lock, IBM HP Cloud Services. So these services give you a rapid scalability option. You just go sign up a product, sign up for a server, host an application, and get your business up and running. And similarly, in data science, I think we have various products. The main ones being R, Python, which are open source and widely used across organizations. Apart from that, we do also have paid like SAS, MATLAB, Alteryx. So these are the technologies that see. So with our experiences, what we have seen is these are broadly the top players across these areas, and they've been adopted by a lot of customers across globally. So how do we stand out in this entire noise? One of the inspiration that we saw, of course, Sujal's journey, right? He started right time, he acquired the right skills, and he get there. But it was not easy for him to get there, right? He went through a lot of learning. He had to do his own research. He had to do things that were not defined anywhere. So the biggest challenge was how do you do it right? So that's where the only way you can stand out is understanding what industry you want to apply. So like if you want to get into analytics, it's just not learning a product and walking into a job. It is basically you need to understand what analytics is, how does it address any business problems, any industry challenges. You acquire a product skill. So that the second step would be you choose a technology. That could be Qlik, understand that, learn Qlik. Once you understand, you also need to get industry ready. It's just not like understanding how to use a product does not entitle you to deliver a project, right? So you need to understand how you deliver a project, how does the industry work. If you're applying for a specific industry, understand what happens in that industry. How does Qlik help? How does analytics help? Once you have got that, then you're ready for a job. You stand out from the crowd that is already in the job market with basic knowledge. So you follow these right steps based on which you could stand out. So understanding this, I think Pamden has basically taken this lead and developed a skill development program for the job seekers. Basically, we have got a lot of requests, like how do they get to the point that they get a right job in the right industry, right? So we, as Pamden, has done a lot of research on the industry demand, like Industry 4.0, what exactly is happening in the industry. what are the companies asking for, what are they adopting, what are their strategies. So you do a lot of industry demand and requirement analysis, get the skill gap that is there, understand what it is, what exactly is required for the job requirement that the industry is putting out, do the demand analysis, how many people are skilled, how many number of jobs are there, identify those skills that have less number of skilled people. While we understand the demand and supply, it's just not like like I said, train on a technology and then you get a job. You need to understand what core skills are required for that technology. For example, if you learn an analytics product, it's just not that product that would help you get a job. It would really be, the differentiator would be to understand the allied technologies that work in tandem with that. So if you're working for analytics, you need to know how data works. If you are working on data, you need to understand how do you process data. If you're working on data science, you need to know analytics and data, right? If you want to work on cloud, you need to know how it works. So you need to identify those core skills apart from the product, what are required, and then build a comprehensive curriculum around it. So Pamden puts together all these 4 areas and builds a curriculum which can be very helpful for all the job seekers who want to get into any of these industry areas or technology areas. How does Pamden stand out? So you might, right, I can talk about products, I can talk about technology. You might go find a lot of information online on YouTube, Google. You'd find a lot of generic information. You'd find a lot of technology training information. If you go for paid courses, you might find a lot of technology training and use case training. So they might not, the YouTube or Google open source content would not give you the use case training. A paid content would give you the use case training. Maybe they give you some projects. What completely stands out is not focusing on either of these, getting everything of those, right? So getting the generic knowledge, getting the technology training, getting use case, which is basic projects, but making sure you're industry ready. How are you industry ready? Of course, when you do real projects, when you get into solve real business use cases, and also understand from industry experts what exactly challenges they are facing and how they're addressing. And of course, understand how the overall project delivery framework works. So the whole idea is putting all these together into a rock solid development plan is what PamTen has to offer. One such technology today I would like to highlight, maybe since you have heard a lot of things around cloud, data analytics, and data science, is, okay, where do we focus? So doing all the due diligence, like I said, building a right skill development plan, Pamden has developed a skill development program for analytics on Qlik Sense. So Qlik Sense is one of the leading 3rd generation BI solution. It has been in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for last 10 years, right? So it is actually only the only product that is there for last 10 years in a global analytics. So what does Qlik do? It enables you to bring data from various sources, capture it, build robust analytics. Now, there might be a lot of questions, why Qlik? When you have a lot of competitors in the market for analytics, why would you choose Qlik? So this is where, a deeper research goes in, right? Qlik as an organization is not only focusing on analytics, they are focusing on this entire industry 4.0, where they are bringing solutions for data integration, bringing solutions for catalog, and bringing solutions for analytics. Analytics was also always there. They put together these 2 pieces of data integration and cataloging, which are very much in demand. And if you would do a little more research, deep research for organizations, these are the pain points that the product is solving. Simply put, if you, in very simple words, if the product is solving an industry challenge, the best bet is all industries will go for it. That's exactly where we see 50,000 odd global companies using Qlik and moving forward with Qlik products. So based on our research, understanding, like I said, doing a research, doing the skill gap analysis, doing the demand analysis, based on that, Pamden realized that Qlik Sense is one of the products which is kind of leading for analytics and going to be in demand, and has built a rock solid skill development program for this. What can Qlik do? It has the AI ML part that we refer to. It has accelerated development. It has advanced authoring. So basically, analytics is no more visualization. There's a lot than visualizations that you do. There are a lot of comparative analysis capabilities within Qlik that allow users to compare. So there are advanced analytics integration, right? We talk about science being separate. So Qlik has integrated basic analytics and data science together. And Qlik is cloud ready. So where it actually puts all of those three key areas for industry 4.0, right? Connecting data sources, putting everything onto a cloud, integrating analytics also, and delivering the data science. So this is one of the products that quite high in demand. And it's, when we say high in demand, it's just not now. It is the 2022 plan that you saw, right? And if you do more research around it, you would yourself realize how much of adoption Qlik is getting across enterprise customers. So Pamden is starting off very very comprehensive skill development program for analytics and Qlik Sense. If any one of you are interested, you could reach out to us. Any questions you have on how you could channel your career to reach the top or stand out from the crowd, or how to get to the right job, please feel free, reach us out. I think we can take some questions that we have finished our presentation.
So yes, we have a few questions in the box, so I will go ahead and read them. So the first question says, I'm looking at the emerging job market slide. I'm a software tester and want to know the skills needed to get involved with cloud. What skill sets are required?
Sure, Elaine. So probably I can take that question.
Sure.
Yeah. So software testing, how it used to be and how it's gonna be is there's a big difference, right? So earlier we were doing a standard testing, we were using automation testing and all those tools. Those tools would not be the same that we probably would be using on cloud also, right? So I will just give an example wherein today's date, when you start building cloud infrastructure and start delivering any of those enterprise solutions, how things work is, first and foremost, everybody is looking at agile, right? An agile method. And when you say agile, people also bring in DevOps or any of those tools like maybe Jitterbit or Jira or any of those tools that comes into picture, right? To integrate with your CI/CD pipeline and making those automations in place. So everything is more of one click away. But yes, writing those test cases would be more into those DevOps tools, and then run those testing part of it. So if you really work in a testing environment, how this actually marries together is a tester is not just going to be involved during the testing phase. Now it's more about a tester being involved in most of the cases, starting from the gathering of business requirement, being aligned or liaising with the business analyst, and then to finish off the UAT or dev testing, and then the UAT testing through writing those test cases in those cloud platforms that are competent or that are compatible with DevOps.
Okay, and thank you. I think the second question, I think you probably answered it, but I'm just going to read it to make sure. It says, how are software testers looked at today with technology getting involved with the cloud?
Yeah, I think I would like to answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's a very great question. So one of the things that we wanted to bring out, also highlight, is don't limit yourself with what technology you are in. So one of the stories that very specifically we spoke about Sujal's career path, because he had skills in a certain technology at a certain time, and he chose to choose or grow with the things that are growing in market, and he's come a long way. Of course, software testers are not something that they are going off. There are softwares which are being built. A lot of things is being automated, right? So the software testing industry is being automated for a lot of developers. There are a lot of tools, there are a lot of things. Now, where do you see yourself? I think you need to evolve with the technology. So maybe while you have been doing software testing, now you could look at helping organizations automate software testing. So if you look at data science, that is what is being used to automate software testing. You, with your experience of software testing, acquiring a data science skill set would help you join organizations like Google or the product companies that are building automation softwares and help them with. So the way, one of the thoughts that I give all people that I talk to is, don't think it as an or, right? So always people make decision that, okay, I'm a software tester or I'm a developer, or do I do analytics or do I do data science, right? It is never going to be an or, right? It's always going to be an and the power comes with the and. So if you're a software tester, look at how you could leverage your experience in software testing, get into data science, and leverage that both knowledge into developing tools which can do automated software testing. So that gives you a lot of opportunity. And these are the things that I can say that you can reach out to us and we can help you and guide you with the right set of capabilities that you need, which generally is not available online.
Okay, very good. We have another question. Someone's asking, what are the trending jobs for anyone that is transitioning from non-technical backgrounds?
I think, see, if you have a non-technical background, it is as good as starting fresh. So you get a chance of opportunity where you are free to choose what you want to do, right? So if you are making, so it also depends on what non-technical background you're coming from. If you are still an IT allied services person, if you're in customer support, if you're in customer management, you still have the skill set of talking to people, convincing them. You could look at acquiring an analytics solution, a cloud engineering skill or an analytics skill, and join companies where you have to do customer service along with delivering the projects. So it is always, it's how you leverage your current existing knowledge as your strength and add a new skill and present it together to prospective job employers. That would be the way that you'll have to look at it, rather than thinking that, okay, I'm non-technical, how do I get to technical? There are definitely a lot of technical jobs that need a lot more than just knowing the technicality of a product, right? That's exactly what we told about skill development plan. It is just not teaching you a product. It is about everything put together, what will make you job worthy and industry ready.
Right.
Yeah, and further, I will probably add further on that. So if you really look at a person who is completely non-technical, right? Like I would give you my example, right? I don't have a technical degree, nor I started as a technical person who would be dealing with any of the technology piece, but I did move up into the technology stream. So the approach or the best way or to move towards that is figuring out the first step, because again, you have already spent a certain amount of time. You might be having 5 or 10 years of experience, and definitely you would not be someone who would be preferring to go really back to zero, right? So if you're looking at starting somewhere, the best option is to start with an area of a technology which is of lesser complexity but will give you exposure to end to end. So as I referred about, liaisoning with business analysts, right? So the business analyst is one of the roles that could be a key to start from for a person who already has a certain level of number of years added under their belt, right? Because you don't need to start from scratch. But as a business analyst, what you get to know is your job is limited, because low complexity, not limited, but low complexity. You understand end to end. So basically, while you're doing a business analyst role, you can decide to graduate whether you want to really get into as a cloud integration engineer, or you want to get into a solution architect or a cloud architect role, or you want to get into a data analyst role, wherein you get any kind of a data set and then give your understanding out of that data, how those businesses would make decisions through that data, because again, that input is required by any BI developer to build that out, right? So a business analyst would be a good starting point. And if you look at the list of emerging areas that I've been talking, I just spoke about, One would be a data analyst kind of a role that you can go for, or you can start with general management role. If you are already a manager at a non-technical area, you can just get up with fundamentals of cloud or fundamentals of data analytics and get into first level manager role into any of the cloud analytics, or maybe to the data science environment, or else other option is getting into sales. So basically you have nearly 4 different streams that you can choose to start from. One is sales and marketing, which would also include digital marketing, or you can get into general operations and management role, or you can be a business analyst or a data analyst.
Okay, a lot of options there. Good. Okay, another question. Can someone with no experience learn Qlik Analytics? Is the course a self-paced learning, and is there a certification upon completion?
Right. Yes. Answer to the question, yes, a person with no experience can learn Qlik learning. Like I said, if you are starting off fresh with no experience or capabilities on any technology, it's actually easier to learn, right? So you're fresh, you have no preconceived thoughts or learning. You could start off with Qlik Analytics learning. The course is a comprehensive like a development program. So it consists of certain self-paced modules. It consists of certain instructor-led modules. It consists of online sessions. It consists of support. It consists of Q&A. It consists of projects. It consists of all the end job-ready industry knowledge that is there. So it is a complete end-to-end skill development program. Once you go through this, there are 2 kinds of certification. One, yes, we could tell you that you have done this course, but more than that, the valid would be a product certification, which we would help you achieve that post certain amount of work experience and practice that you put onto the technology.
Okay, good. I think that answers that question. How about another question? Any perspective on the pros and cons of learning either R or Python?
Right.
You want me to take that question, Fahad?
Yeah, go ahead. No
Okay.
problem.
So if you really look at prospective, or rather pros and cons of learning either of the tools, it depends, where you really want to use it. So if your intent is to use it for only, say, building algorithms for data science area, either of them are good. Okay, but again, R is open source. Python is also open source. R is built in with SQL Server. Anything beyond 2016 SQL Server has R as a plugin. Right, so those advantages are there. But if you're looking at certain other areas, like if you want to implement anything beyond big data or those specific algorithms around big data, then I would say the winner would be Python, because Python has a lot of opportunities around integrating and connecting to various other tools beyond databases or beyond anything related to analytics.
Right. I think there are definitely there are no cons if you learn both. So R is more focused on algorithms, data science. Python definitely helps you in data science. Also is widely used in ML, machine learning is what we call. So if you want to automate things, right, so you use Python. So basically you need to decide which part of the world you'd want. If you are going purely into data science, then R would make a lot of value to you. If you're thinking, no, I want to automate, I want to do machine learning, I want to automate my, how do I switch off lights in my house? Python is the language for you. So while they do same things, but definitely both can be used for distinct solutions. Yeah. And if you ask me which one is very common in the job market, see both, like I said, most of the organizations are investing in data science as well as machine learning or artificial intelligence. So they are equally required at multiple places.
Okay, and this is going to tag along to that. Can PamTen help place a person after they have successfully completed the course?
Yes, that is something that as we say that we make you industry and job ready. So definitely, if you are industry and job ready, the next thing is, are you getting a job or not? That would be the first question that arises, and that is something that we help you with. Okay, we get you to the table. We make sure that you have the required skill and knowledge to get a job.
Okay, great. I'm sure the people on the phone or in the webinar are happy to hear that. Those are the questions that have come in so far. Is there anything that either of you would like to say before we wrap up today?
Yeah, probably I will, have a couple of points that I would like to make. Like you would have, learned around about a lot of technology. We have been talking around cloud, data science, and analytics, right? And I did get a couple of questions wherein, the question was about if you are starting from scratch, how things would be, and whether it's you know is it green on the other side. And my answer is definitely yes. I spoke about my success, but if you really, and again, you can say that it's a 5-year-old success story, but as a whole, we are updated on daily basis on what is happening in the industry. We make sure that we do the research and we do our due diligence in terms of each and every technology, each and every item that is put into the curriculum, new plugins coming into market, the latest updates around, say, Qlik or Tableau or AWS, Azure, anything that comes into picture. All of them are something that we do a regular research. We have a robust plan that we keep on updating for any of the latest and the greatest things that comes into the market. So you can be 100% sure that if you are hitting to be job ready today, it means that all the updated versions of whatever technology is available, that is something that you have already learned and you know about it.
Okay, very good. Well, I don't see any other questions from anyone in the audience. So thanks everyone for participating in this webinar. Hope you found the information helpful on your career path. And this session was recorded and we will be posting it to, we'll let you know when it's posted to YouTube. So thank you, Sajil and Fahad, and thanks everyone for joining, and enjoy your day. Thank you.